Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. The number one Google myth, according to me, this is not an official release from Google,
Okay.
but the number one thing that I think, and you can tell me what you think if I'm wrong, that people seem to have a misconception about when talking about Google and SEO and rankings and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it seems like people think that you do stuff to your website and then your rankings are going to go up. Like you need to do meta tags, you need to do title tag. If you put image tags, it's going to make your rankings go higher.
Yes.
Right? That's the you do stuff, and while you do that technical stuff, your rankings get higher. Yes. It's technically the reverse of that.
What?
It's the team of people at Google who determine the rankings. So they build that algorithm, and it determines what websites are going to be ranked high and what websites are ranked low. That team, the name of that team is the spam team.
What?
It's the spam team. It's not the like the great websites team or the high rankings team. It's the spam team. And their job is to kick out crappy websites that are breaking the rules, that are trying to literally spam, like spam email. Right. Spam email is junk email that you don't want. Somebody is sending 1 billion emails to 1 billion people and figuring, I'm just going to flood the market with my emails. And some people, Google faces the same thing, but with website owners trying to spam their system, trying to trick their system. And so the people at Google, the spam team, literally goes through and they try to find reasons to remove websites.
And do they actually remove websites?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so you'll get penalties from Google. You don't get rewards and get higher rankings. You are penalized and you are moved down.
Okay.
It used to be that, yes, you could get an email from Google, and these were called manual actions or manual penalties. You'd get an email from Google saying, we've found that basically your website is shitty and we're taking it out of Google. Now, those were specific.
Love Google.
Right. Yeah. And I've had a lot of projects that are just getting websites. They got that penalty. They don't do this much anymore, but, or at least they don't send the emails about it. But those manual actions were because people would go out and buy links to their website. So I've talked a lot about how important links are. Yeah.
Do you think links are more important than keywords?
Well, yes, but if you don't have any keywords, then what are you going to rank for?
Right.
So
smart.
I'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
But as an SEO, we would go out and try to get links to our client websites. Now, one way to do that is just buy them. Now, Google does not like it when you do that. That's something the spam team is looking for.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah. And you can buy really high quality links and you can buy really low quality links. And what the spam team was looking for is when you are buying those low quality links, like I could go to Fiverr, or there's thousands of companies where I could buy literally hundreds or thousands of links and point them to my client sites for $10 or $50 or $100. Now, the Google spam team would, when they found that, that's when you would get a manual penalty. And they would send that email saying, hey, guess what? We just booted your website entirely from Google.
Wow.
And
so
now
then would you have to remove all those links that you paid the 10?
Yes. And so now
it's going to cost a lot more than $10.
Exactly. So now Google says, now it's your responsibility to get rid of all those crappy links you purchased and also show us the proof. And if you can't get rid of those links, you need to show us that you at least tried. So a manual penalty removal project would be, we need to find all the crappy links and we need to get rid of them. So guess what happens when you go to all these spammy SEO directories where somebody purchased links and now you write to them and say, hey, can you take these links down? Guess what?
No.
They cost $10 to put up. They cost $200 to take down.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, the people who built those directories
We built those directories.
Yeah, exactly. The people who built those directories, their business model is now over. So they know at that point they realize, okay, we can't sell these links anymore because everybody is going to, if they don't know already, they're going to know very soon that this does not help SEO. In fact, it hurts SEO. So our income is gone.
Right.
We have this worthless website. However, we can essentially blackmail people because we have this really crappy website that is penalizing sites, and now people want to get out of it. Well, we can charge them for that.
Whoa.
So,
is it $200 per link or $200?
It's totally made up. It's totally made up. But it was typically they would typically charge you. They're not going to say, "Oh yes, I'll do that work for you for free." Yeah, they're not going to do that.
No, why would they?
So and a lot of times what would happen is they would just abandon the site. You would get no response. But in that case, what you would need to do is then prove to Google that I did try to get rid of all these links. So you would need to email them 3 times, and you would need to send screenshots of those 3 things, and you would need to submit that to Google.
Okay.
And talk about man hours. Holy crap! That is way more expensive than getting those links in the first place.
Okay, got it.
Way more expensive. Anyway. That's one type of penalty. There's all type. That's the one type of penalty that Google would actually notify you about. But there's other types of penalties that we've talked about. Title tags and duplicate title tags and meta tags, and there's all sorts of things that your site can be penalized for. You're never going to know it, but the SEO in general, the technical side of SEO, is just not making those mistakes, not getting penalized.
Right.
We talk about, as SEOs, we talk about things getting penalized all the time. We don't talk about, rewards. There's nothing we do. We talk about links. Links are the one time, if you're acquiring links, are the exception. You do kind of get rewarded for inbound links.
Right.
Like if you get a link from, I don't know, the New York Times, like, hey, we know that our ranking is going to go up because of that link.
Gotcha.
And so how do you find those things that your website can be penalized for? Because there's like 100 of them. There's at least 100 of them.
I have no idea.
What am I going to say?
What's
my favorite tool?
You're going to say Stardust.
Nope.
What is it called?
Semrush.
Semrush
will check for all of
Close.
those. So, I mean, there's lots of tools that will do this. Semrush is by far my favorite.
Yeah.
But Semrush.
So they'll help you with that.
Yes. It'll do an audit. And what that will do when you run an audit on your website, it's going to find everything that might be causing a penalty to your website rankings. It's going to say, hey,
are you going to say how to do that?
Okay. You need Semrush. You need to go through the Semrush.
No, I was saying walk us through on Semrush.
Oh, well, I have that in several other episodes.
That's
how
what
to do things on Semrush.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to go to Semrush, and you can use their free. You can sign up for. They have a free trial. You can use that, and then you can run an audit on your website during that free trial, and then if you don't want to continue to pay for Semrush, you can then convert it to a free permanent account. You can still run one audit per month.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's still a super useful tool.
So could things like that, when you run the audits, could things pop up that you were just never aware of? Could bad people link to your site? Or?
Absolutely. Now, running an audit.
It's like checking the oil in your car.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a full checkup, not just the oil. It's checking the brake fluid and the hydraulic fluid. And I don't know anything about cars, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Catalytic converter.
Yes, absolutely. Making sure you have a high
white
tire
wheels.
pressure.
Tire pressure.
Yes, all of that.
And everything is comfy.
Yeah, because you're never going to know otherwise. I mean,
true.
This is one of the very first steps whenever we talk to a new client about anything, we run an audit and we look to see what their score is. And when I have talked in the past about a high score on Semrush,
yes.
you need a 92 or better. This is what that is grading. It's if you have below 92, it means you're doing things that are causing you penalties.
Got it.
And you need to get rid of those.
Yes.
If you don't do that, no matter how good your website is,
dun, dun, dun.
It's like trying to fill a bucket of water that has a hole in the bottom.
Right.
So you need to first plug the holes. You need to prevent your website from doing things that are going to cause penalties.
Right. It's like if you're going to go to the dentist, you better be flossing and brushing your teeth. I don't know. No?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wasn't food related.
That's true. And so once you have done this, once you've, removed anything that might be causing your website to be penalized, there's more you can do. That's when blogging and content and link building comes into play. But first, make sure that there are no holes.
Right. Make sure you have a solid foundation.
Exactly.
On which to grow your tree.
Right.
You've got to prep the soil, make sure the soil is right so that your beautiful flowers can grow.
I've tried using all sorts of analogies for this over the years, and one is like a foundation for a house. I didn't say planting, but like if you try to build a house on a cracked foundation, you're going to have problems
forever.
So make sure, yes. And it's funny. I very often, even from big companies with very knowledgeable people, they start projects and they want to do something that would be equivalent to, they want to start by building the
attic.
They want to install the tile in the second floor bathroom first. I'm like, you don't have there's no first floor. How are we going to build the second floor?
Stairs.
So yes, foundation is first. Does that help? Does that kind of
Yeah. And it being almost spring now, it's kind of like it's important to do a monthly spring cleaning. Making sure the foundation is strong.
Yes.
And not penalized.
Yeah. Yeah. This is step number 1. You got to make sure, like I said, no holes in the bottom of your website so that you can then start putting water in. Otherwise it's going to be very frustrating.
Very frustrating. No one likes frustrating. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending the time. Share it with your friends if this was helpful. And, all the stuff that people say at the end of podcasts.
Yeah. I actually have an ending to this podcast that goes on after this where I say stuff like,
oh, thanks. Yeah. Good to know.
Now I know that you have never, ever listened to this podcast.
I've not.
Yes, I hope that helps. And yes, if you find it helpful, share it with a friend.
Please.
Share it with a colleague. Share it with somebody who you think it will help also. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.